What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch back here with Dilly Vanilli. It's just us two on tonight's WWE Raw review and reaction for April the 17th, 2017. We're going to discuss the show, of course. We're going to discuss wrestlers, segments, storylines, everything that happened on WWE Raw. And first off, I thought that this episode was actually one of the better episodes they've had in quite a long time, just on the surface. We'll obviously get deep into it and see if we really did enjoy it as much as, we did on the show, because it wasn't the worst show ever. It was actually a little bit better than expected and a little bit better than usual, with a couple different things that they don't usually do from a week to week. And it seemed like they actually put effort into this show, which is the number one thing that we like to look for in WWE Raw. We have a couple of new things on this show. We do have new sound effects. So if you do hear new sound effects like this,
hello, it's John Cena,
then that is my new sound effect, phone playing, rocking off, So I might throw a couple sound effects out here and there that are new, because we noticed that Google Hangouts is taking their sound effects out of the game. So, we had to adapt. We had to move forward. I had to get some better sound effects. I know that you guys are in here waiting for this Raw review. We have Arian in here. What's going on, bro? Arian is in here. He says it's not like most Raws. It actually had good segments, hooks, and promos, but it did have some matches that went too long. And then he goes on to talk about the boy, Finn Balor. We will talk about him in just a little bit. But before we do, Dylan, what did you think about this show, bro? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Did you think it was mediocre? Was it better than usual? What's your thoughts?
Now, to say the show was better is an understatement. I thought it was better than usual, because most of these Raws the last couple weeks and months have just been boring and really bad to watch. This one was decent. I'm not going to sit here and say it was great. There's some flaws to it, but some pretty good segments. One really good match at the end. Like Arian said, there was a couple of matches that went on way too long, but I think there's some improvement here. And with 2 weeks left before Payback, I think this has been one of the better Raw shows in a minute. So, good stuff.
why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Why are you lying, bro?
What you talking about?
Are you lying? Is this for real? Is this show actually?
I'm not lying.
Good?
I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was great. I said it was decent. Better for me.
All right. So let's get into the WWE Raw review for April 17th, 2017. Tonight, obviously, I watched Raw a little bit differently tonight. I actually didn't start watching till about an hour left in the show. That's because we had two hype hockey games going on in the NHL playoffs, and there was two overtimes, both 3-3. So I had to watch those entirety of those games, because I'm recapping later on about the NHL playoffs. So I had to get that done. So I didn't tune into Raw, and I think that it actually helps when you don't tune into Raw for the full 3 hours. It's a lot less exhausting. You're not taking naps during the show. You're not having to take multiple piss breaks. You don't have to find an excuse to leave the room when certain wrestlers are on. You can just skip it.
I did that all 3 times today, because I watched the in-show entirely. So,
yeah, I used to do that, bro. I've been doing that for like the last year. I just can't take it anymore. And at this point, for me to continue to do these reviews and for me to continue to actually be happy talking about WWE and wrestling, I need to condense it. I need to make it more fun for myself, and that's what I did tonight. And I think that's what I'll continue to do, especially while these playoffs are going on, because, there's so many things to watch on TV, not just wrestling. So let's get into, the show. First off, they had a replay of last week's Strowman beatdown on Roman Reigns. So, of course, what do you think they logically should do? They should open the show up with Strowman, of course, right? Hey, they actually do it this time. So Strowman comes out. He's in there. He actually has a mixed response. I think last week he was pretty much a face last week. This week kind of had a mixed response. Some Roman fans in the crowd, it seemed like. More of a regular WWE crowd, not a bunch of marks. So that was interesting. Strowman is in the bro, I need to get a sound effect of like Vince Russo saying Mark. I need to get
God. Vince Russo reaching out to you, bro. Can you handle this?
I got all these sound effects here, bro. I don't got a Mark sound effect. Maybe we need a sound effect of Arian saying Mark. You know, maybe we'll get that one day. But anyways, Strowman is in the ring, and he says he broke Roman Reigns in half last week. He left him in an ambulance. He separated his shoulder. He cracked his ribs. And basically, Reigns will not be here tonight because of him. He then says, you know, basically he intends to tear through the entire roster tonight, and he's going to do whatever he wants because Roman Reigns isn't here. Question, what are all the haters doing watching this show without Roman Reigns? Are they still watching the show? Are they still complaining about the show? Or like, what do you think they are gravitating towards that Roman isn't on the show? What are they hating on tonight, you think?
So it's interesting because they can't hate on their most targeted suspect. So now they got to go. I don't know. It's weird. But it kind of wonders why they still watch the show, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's actually like this boycott Reigns thing going on, which is absolutely incredible. But then there's like people that take it way too far and then they swear at him, even though he's like a character on TV. Like, I don't know what they're doing tonight. It would be interesting to have it because we're not Roman, like, we don't despise Roman Reigns because he's a TV character. So, you know, we're not that crazy to do that and go out of our way to hate somebody like that, that we don't even know, by the way. So, you know, I don't know what it's like. Where do they put their focus? If you hate Roman Reigns, tell me where you put your focus on this show. It'd be interesting to hear. So anyways, back to this segment. Kurt Angle comes out, and Angle announces a match for Payback, which is Roman Reigns versus Strowman. Again, fine, whatever. You know, I kind of wish that they would have done this while both the guys were in the ring, but whatever.
I wish they would have held off because they said separated shoulder. I mean,
exactly, right? So basically what I'm saying is, like, Reigns should have been in the ring. He should be ready to go before you announce a match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they play that into storyline where Reigns might not be able to come back, but who knows? Sounds too much like Seth Rollins at WrestleMania to me.
True.
Strowman then says it will be Reigns' funeral at Payback, and he wants more competition, of course, because that's what he says every week. And he says, or else. Now, the problem I have with this segment, Dylan, before you go, is Strowman says, I want more competition or else. Angle is there in the ring. Angle says, you know, what competition? What do you want to do? Like, what is or else? What are you really going to do? And Strowman just backs away and walks away. Like, why is he being a pussy again? This guy could crush Angle. Angle, you know, is a retired wrestler. Strowman should be able to crush him, right? So,
okay, in this segment, I'm a little bit more okay with it. That's what
okay.
Taker segment.
The only reason I thought it was okay was because it kind of left a little bit of a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if somebody's questioning Braun Strowman and he thinks he's this badass and he's acting this way and he's going around killing people, why wouldn't he just hit a move on Angle then?
Because, okay, this is wrestling logic, so it never works. But in regular life, if you hit your manager, you're supposed to be fired. I don't know if they'll ever put that in there.
But it just seems like Strowman doesn't care if he hits anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. But maybe he's trying to send a message to the managers to get him what he wants. I don't know. I'm not really trying to back that up. But at the same time, I can understand it in at least this segment compared to like when Taker and him faced off. I'm like, what the fuck? So,
Bodo says, weren't you guys on at 2:30 in the morning last night? Yes, we were. And he says, do you ever sleep? No. I think I went to sleep last night at 4.
It's eat, sleep, conquer, repeat. You know, Lesnar said it best. Well, Heyman said it best, but still.
Arian says his uncle was impressed with Strowman and his look. Well, bro, it's hard not to be impressed with Strowman's look. The guy was a freaking, like, what was it? A strong man? He's one of the strongest men in the freaking world. So I don't know how you couldn't be impressed with how the guy looks. And he does look like a bad guy. You know who he actually looks like? He looks like the guy from Game of Thrones that was just, I'm bringing this up because he was just recently on Fate of the Furious, the guy with the orange hair. Oh, kind of looks like that guy, but like way bigger. You know what I mean?
You're calling Mountain Man small compared to Braun Strowman.
Exactly right.
Wow, that's a comparison right there. Still need to check out that movie. But yeah, I think this was a good segment. Started off the night with Braun, the biggest segment of last week. Of course, has to start off the show this week. Explain his action against Roman. Of course, he gets the crowd. I don't get why Vince thinks he's going to get booed for killing the people's least favorite person, but that's beside the point. He did get a couple of boos, so that's good. Interaction with Kurt kind of just seems like he's playing the role as GM. I would like to see more, but Braun's going to kill everybody. That's the goal of this segment, and you get to see the start of it. And plus, like you said, cliffhanger, which is good for a TV show. I can already hear a sound effect coming up.
That was a little bit of clapping. I don't know if you guys really heard that one. That was a really bad one. I've never tried that one out before. But this one's a little bit better.
Falcon Punch!
All right, let's get into the next segment, which is Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho. Rollins is on commentary. I skipped through this match, of course, because I was only, I only had an hour to watch the whole show, so I didn't really want to watch Chris Jericho versus Samoa Joe. But I do have notes on this. Basically, look at Jericho's scarf.
Hey, I'm not a scarf guy, but I want that scarf, okay?
It makes him stand out amongst everybody else. It's like when you see a guy with a scarf on the show, it's Chris Jericho, and it's like lighting up. Mm-hmm. It's like really an interesting thing. It's a wrestling thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice.
Joe does win by submission. And basically what happens is Joe, after the match, gets on the mic and he says, Joe yells at Rollins, and Rollins is on the commentary table. And basically he says, "Behold the mighty Kingslayer. Let me ask you a question. Do you remember what it sounded like when I arrived here? Do you remember it? Because I remember it very well. The sound of your ligaments popping, the sound of you screaming and pleading for mercy. That was just business." And this is the part that I really liked about his promo. He went on to talk about how that was business and how he was hired to do a job by Triple H to go out and destroy Rollins. He did that. But he says he cares about his clientele, and what you did to Stephanie McMahon, you will have to have some payback. He wants payback, and at payback, it will not be business. It will be personal. Then Rollins stands up on the announce table and he says, "You almost cost me your career. Of course it will be personal. You know what they say, payback is a bitch." I thought that was a good promo on both sides. I really like the way that they implemented and kind of, intertwined Samoa Joe's character. We know a little bit more about him because of this promo. Not only is he a guy for hire, but he's a guy that he takes what he does and his jobs very seriously. If he's a hitman, he obviously wants to follow through with that job that he's supposed to do. So we understand his role a little bit better on the show and his character a little bit better via the promo. I like the addition of using the word bitch on the show. Sometimes it's good to swear and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's not. I thought that was an effective use, and it made sense because that is a line that people say. So, yeah, I don't know what you thought of the match because I didn't really see much of it. I just kind of skipped to the finish, but the promo overall was good, and it got what it needed to do.
It was a decent match. I like both guys. They can work, but Samoa Joe wins, which is the right decision. Of course, by that great submission move, I really do like the cookie in the clutch. Makes it look very realistic. And Joe kind of has that MMA background, which is a good finisher for him. The promo, like you said, I liked because it gave Joe more of that character that we've been waiting for. Like we kind of knew he was intertwined with Triple H, but we didn't know the details, and we got the details tonight. He got hired by Triple H to take out Rollins. That was business. Now it's personal. Rollins comes up there, says payback is a bitch, which is good. People say that. Like you said, I like the cussing. Every once in a while, you throw it in there correct times, it works. Except for this channel, we just do it all the time. But in this segment, it was good, effective, and it got me more hyped for a match that was announced earlier today, which was interesting. They didn't announce it on the show. It was announced beforehand. But I think it's going to be a good match, and it has a storyline that has purpose. So that is a good thing. And I think it will help both guys for this feud.
Okay.
Hey, that's a nice one.
All right. So Joe, Chris Jericho, we got past that. The Club walking backstage. So basically the Club are on their way to wrestle. We don't know exactly who at this point, but they're on the way to wrestle. We see the Drifter playing the guitar in the background. So it seems like they're actually taking the Drifter character to a literal sense. Like he just drifts around backstage. So he's drifting around and he's playing his guitar. And we have Goldust and R-Truth now cut to a different segment or a different, hallway. And we see Goldust and R-Truth walking to the ring. They're supposed to wrestle the Club, I guess. So Braun just comes out of nowhere and he wrecks Goldust and R-Truth. And he goes, Braun! And then he beats the crap out of him. And he's like, I said everyone. I said everyone. And
I
then
love when he just talks in the middle of his beating up. I said everyone. He just keeps beating people.
And then we see backstage agents come out, Finley. We see Noble come out and they try and stop Strowman. That was pretty good. I mean, I like how they're continuing with the thread throughout the show. So not only we have Strowman at the beginning of the show, but we have him not long after that. And this just by itself, by adding a thread to the show, helped the show. Yeah. Because a lot of times we'll see on Raw where a guy's on for 10 minutes at the beginning or 10 minutes at the end or 10 minutes in the middle, but we don't see him at the beginning, middle, and end. Here we see Strowman at the beginning, we see him in the middle multiple times, and then we see him at the end. So they're getting over Strowman as this guy you want to watch and this guy you need to watch because something crazy is going to happen every moment he's on the show. And if you tuned in last week, a lot of people were saying that the best thing on the show was Strowman and Reigns. So obviously people want to see Strowman. So if people want to see Strowman, that means that you're going to get better ratings because the more Strowman is on the show, the more people are going to want to watch. Thus, more people are going to watch. Right, Dylan?
Braun is Raw. We're just going to make that the title now. Braun is Raw.
Braun is Raw. Okay.
Good segment. And plus, man, you got to feel bad for Goldust. That paint job took 4 hours. All it was designed to do was him to get beat up afterwards.
I mean, bro, he's been doing this for
over 20 years.
20 years, but when's the last time he was utilized heavily on a show? And he always has the paint on, basically.
Correctly, about 4 years ago. Yeah, I mean, it would be weird to not have him with face paint. I'm just saying, it's kind of funny. But Braun is GOAT, and he gets ratings, okay? I mean, because people want to see him beat up people because he's just so big. And I like the overarching story of it. It's one of the best things Raw did tonight was make a story because it's a TV show. Okay, we know it's wrestling, but it's a TV show. TV shows are supposed to have a centerpiece. Even in Pulp Fiction, the greatest movie of all time, in my opinion, they have 3 different stories going on, but you cut back to one each time around, and it all links together. That's good storytelling right there. So I like that.
We have a couple comments here. Arian says that Rollins looked like he was going to shit his pants when Joe was walking by. Chauncey says, Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. What's going on, Chauncey? He also says, hashtag beat up Luke. Who's Luke? Luke Gallows?
Now, I'm okay with that if that's the key. But Cesaro for champion.
Ricardo is asking a question. He says, what happened to Lucha Underground?
Lucha Underground. Well, our good friend that did Lucha Underground reviews is not on the channel anymore. As for Lucha Underground, we don't watch it that much. So I have no idea.
Is it still on?
I don't know.
I've literally haven't heard of it in a while.
It has not been as hot. I heard the 3rd season was kind of bad, and I have not seen it. I have not heard of it since. So
Chauncey says hashtag beat up Mike.
Yeah, okay, beat up Mike.
He then says hashtag beat up R-Truth, hashtag beat up Goldust. Arian says, bro, I had the hardest time explaining the Club's character to my uncle who hasn't watched wrestling since 2001. The Club don't have a character. They're bald and they're from Japan. Patrick Challenge Bids says, nah, the best is Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, but Jeff is better. Patrick is a big Hardy Boys fan. I think he always comments that. So that's great.
Jeff is great.
After that Strowman segment where he beats up R-Truth, and Goldust. It goes to commercial. And immediately after that, we actually get another segment with Braun Strowman. Wow, what logic, Dylan. What logic. We have Strowman post-commercial, and there's a ref in his locker room, and he says, the GM has made it clear that you have the night off. And Strowman says, I'll leave when I want to unless you have a problem with that. So there's that. Then we have the club. They cut a promo, and basically they said, Strowman gave Goldust and R-Truth the United Airlines treatment. Any comment on that, Dylan? I know you want to comment on that.
In 6 months.
What?
I said that's the only good line they have made in 6 months.
Yeah, that was the only time where I genuinely laughed or smirked at one of their comments. In a long time.
They're really good. I mean, WWE, not Gallows and Anderson, because they're not really good at anything. WWE's really good at finding stories that are really popular and the next week making a joke out of it. So, credit to them for staying with the times in the most emphasis possible with the quotations.
Then we have basically the club. Actually, I thought this was the best club promo in a long time because, they did that United Airlines line. And then they talked about how they left Japan, and they left Japan to be mean and make green. It was very simple, and basically they said, gather up some new nerds so we can go right now. And then Enzo and Cass come out. The club win that match. Enzo loses again. Classic story here. Enzo and Cass again buried straight up. Club get the win, and does this really matter to me? I think they're trying to build up the club once again.
God.
I don't know if the same people are writing this show because the overall writing of the show just seemed better. Is it just me?
It was better. I don't know if they get switched out every once in a while.
Or they just tried harder. I don't know.
If it was the same creative team trying harder, I don't think those two match together. I don't know. I did like the line with the be mean and be green or make green because, sometimes in wrestling, some people just want the money. You got to bring real life into this because if you're an NFL player getting that contract.
It's a job.
It's a job, Mostly Antonio Brown, he made all that bank for a Pittsburgh Steelers team that's not going to win a ship in 50 years. Not 50 years, but at least 5 years. So, people want the money. And that's a good line right there. This match was so long. I know you skipped it, but it was incredibly long for a finish that didn't matter. So I did not like that part. Yeah.
For a match that didn't matter, bro. Not only a finish, but a match.
Yeah. It was a long match and a finish that didn't matter. So at least the promo was good. There's one thing to be saved in that.
All right. We have Miz TV.
Well, now this is going to be an interesting segment.
Dean Ambrose. So we have versus The Miz. And we have why would they have the Ambrose and Miz feud again? I'm not saying I don't like it, but what is their logic of having two SmackDown guys move to Raw and then start a feud?
There is none. I imagine Raw just didn't watch SmackDown. They're like, oh, I really like that talent from over there. Or they heard somebody across the street say The Miz is great. And they're like, all right, going to Raw. But why? We saw the segment so many times on SmackDown a few months ago. And now right back to where we started on Raw. It's like the feud before never existed. Never. Just weird. But
yeah. I was seeing if I could find a Miz sound effect. Let's see if I got one here. All right.
That played at my funeral, if anybody goes. I'm just saying.
I came to play. All right. There's a price to pay. All right. So Ambrose interrupts Miz, and of course there is a price to pay because you're in the ring with the Miz.
Yeah.
Ambrose says that he's been looking forward to Miz TV all week. He kind of says it like a joke. And then he sits down and he's all excited. And then he does this Ohio thing. He pops the Ohio crowd. And just like Maurice, I had no idea what was happening because I'm Canadian. Any comments on that, Dylan?
I have a feeling that Ambrose, because him and Vince are buddy. He just, he watch the Stone Cold podcast for that. He just likes to go off script, and they don't care. So, I'm not an Ohio native, but I guess he went off script.
All right. So I want to play a little bit of Ambrose there because I always do it like with my mouth, but it's not very effective. So Miz, basically what he does is after Ambrose has his fun, after he gets the Ohio crowd into it, Miz says he respects, what a WWE superstar is. He says, why do I dress like this? After Ambrose makes fun of his shoes, makes fun of his clothes, he says, I dress like this because I respect what a WWE superstar is. He wants to look the part, and he talks the part, and he is the part. And this is what we talk about all the time. So it was funny. It's like, are they watching our reviews?
They had to do it. After this promo and then what Ambrose said, they had to have.
Okay. So then Miz says, you know why I dress like this and you don't? Because you don't care. Everything you do is a disgrace to what a superstar should be. You make us look like just wrestlers. And when he said that, I swear to God, I thought they took it from our videos, bro. He said,
the next line, I think.
You make us look just like wrestlers and not a superstar. So that was a really good start. Immediately, I'm into this promo because we have been talking about how Ambrose looks lazy, how they don't do anything really creative with his character, how they don't know what he is, if he's a comedian, if he is a tough guy, if he's a lunatic, what the heck is he? He doesn't dress or look like a superstar. And Miz is exactly what is one of the examples of, sure, this guy isn't a huge guy. He's not 6'4", 265, Brock Lesnar or, whatever. But he's, he has the look. He comes out with the suit on, the glasses, plays to his Hollywood character. He seems like he's a WWE superstar, and because of that, he's larger than life. With Ambrose, I understand that part of his character is supposed to be this crazy guy that's supposed to be like off the edge. But the thing is, they don't treat him 100% like a lunatic. They treat him 50% like a comedian. So they don't really know what he is, which is the main problem with him. Maybe now that he's in a feud with The Miz again, and this is going back to my point that The Miz elevates talent 100% of the time. Ever since, this past year, you could see every single feud Miz has been in, he's elevated the talent. And like Dylan said, Ambrose is buddy with Vince. What if Vince said, hey, Miz is an excellent heel right now. He's making everybody he's in the ring with better. I'm going to put you in there with The Miz. Let's see what we can do. And for some reason, it just seems like WWE is more comfortable giving these kind of more personal storylines and personal shots to The Miz because maybe he's very professional and respected. But I don't really know because it just seems like The Miz's, even their writing for The Miz, whether it was on SmackDown or now here on Raw, is a lot better than everybody else's. Like they do more of the real life stuff. We saw it with Ziggler. We saw it with Cena. We've seen it with multiple wrestlers where Miz has kind of got this, he always cuts a promo on this guy that absolutely destroys his character.
I think they have a lot more trust in him. I mean, he puts a lot of work into his character, and like you can see what he wants to accomplish. He gets it accomplished. So I think maybe they're trying to give him something like not a congratulations, but a thank you for all the hard work. He's been there for 11 years, and he's done a lot of different things. He's changed up his character many a different times. So I really did enjoy this promo. I know we haven't got to what Ambrose said yet, but I really like this. I tweeted this out. I feel like this Miz promo is what WWE wants to say to Ambrose. Like, you're lazy, you're complacent. And no offense to Ambrose, we like Ambrose on this show, but if you've seen him in the last couple months,
we're tired of him.
He's going through the motions. It's like, all right, I come out here in my character, I'm the Intercontinental Champion, whatever. boom, boom, dirty deeds, boom, leave. Like, he doesn't really do anything exciting anymore. And even Miz is like, well, are you really happy that you were a blip on the card at WrestleMania?
Yeah, you were the draft pick, number 1 draft pick. You were the champion at SummerSlam. You wasted momentum at WrestleMania. You know, like Dylan said, you're barely a blip on the card. He calls him lazy, complacent. He says you never break through the glass ceiling because of it. Yep. Then Ambrose says back to him, he says, it's about what's in here, pointing to his heart. He says, I'm not a brand. I'm Dean Ambrose. What exactly is Dean Ambrose, Dean? What are you, bro? That's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to understand. What are you? He says, I don't care about movies, talk shows, endorsement deals. I do it because I love it. This is actually, this was actually our passionate promo from Ambrose. This was the first passionate promo I've heard from him in a while. Even though, the whole I am Dean Ambrose thing is like, okay, what are you? Like, what are you? But I understand where they're trying to go. He's not The Miz. He's not in for it for the external. He's in for it because he wanted to be a wrestler, because he wants to show up and beat himself up and beat people up and all that stuff, which is great. And it suits his character to what they're trying to get him to be, is the lunatic. But they need to help us out. What exactly is Dean Ambrose? If you're telling you're not a brand, you're Dean Ambrose, what exactly is Dean Ambrose? But I thought that this was passionate. This, was one of the best promos from Ambrose in a while. And, yeah, I just liked it. And, again, Miz elevates talent. We had Maurice come in, and she said how Ambrose is a dirty street rat. And how, the man makes the championship. And then she threw the word boy out there and said that to Ambrose. Ambrose basically starts taking stuff out of his pocket. So you kind of figure he's going to go for the dirty deeds. He takes stuff out of his pockets. He takes stuff out his jacket off and stuff. And then he talks about, Miz keeps talking and talking and talking and talking. And then Ambrose comes in and tries to hit the dirty deeds on him. Maurice attacks Ambrose. Miz escapes. And then Ambrose gets pissed off and throws a chair on the stage. So I thought it was a really, really good segment here. Probably one of the better ones on the show. I just thought Miz nailed it again. I really like what they're doing with the Miz. Good start to him being on Raw. Dylan, what did you think of this segment overall?
I was weird. I was looking at this cup, right? And you see Cena's like half the fucking cup. But then you look at Ambrose over here. He doesn't look like a typical star. It just looks, it's a different look, which I hope they capitalize on the fact that they're trying to make Ambrose what he was, because there's a reason he was champion. Like he has charisma, he has the stuff. He just doesn't want to put in the work. And just because you're Vince's buddy doesn't really get you as far as you would want to. I love the Miz. Of course, he puts out really good promos, and tonight was nothing different. Like, he just goes out there and puts over the talent, and then that's a good thing. Like, you want to put yourself over because you're a heel character, but you also want to get us to realize what the other person involved, like, why are you involved? Why do you hate them? And what could they do in response to be better? And Ambrose, cut a quote-unquote passionate promo, which is what you want to see out of a guy like Dean, who can be good, who can be that lunatic fringe. He just needs to pop that up every once in a while. And the back and forth between them was pretty good. So I don't like the fact that this is another feud like that already happened on SmackDown. It's now being moved to Raw. But since we're getting it and it's two talented guys, I hope they do good. And I am interested. The segment was pretty good and one of the better stuff on the show.
And if The Miz continues to elevate people like this, you got to figure that this guy is going to be in the main event soon.
Well, the problem is now he's not on SmackDown. So, I don't think he's getting a Universal title shot any time soon. That's the problem.
Yeah. The problem would be, is Brock going to hold the title all the way to WrestleMania?
I don't even know when he's going to defend the title. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are.
Yeah. Well, the plan right now is probably going to be Roman Brock at Mania. So
yeah, but that's a long fucking time.
It is a long freaking time, bro. But I'm totally cool. I'm totally complacent with Miz being one of the top mid carders. because he's just that entertaining. It doesn't really matter to me. He doesn't need to be in the main event because as long as I get him and to see him doing his thing, it's cool, you know?
I mean, Miz said it yourself. You're complacent too. Come on, man. You want more. No, I'm just kidding. Miz is great. So I'm interested to see what they do. I don't know if he gets the title. Do you think he gets the title at Payback?
Maybe. I think it would work. I think it would suit the storyline better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have Miz take the title off him, and then Ambrose try and figure out what exactly, you know, is he being complacent? You know, is he, and then maybe make him realize and come back and build back up. You know what I mean?
That wouldn't be bad. That'd be good.
But because that's what they kind of got across in this promo, right? It's like Miz was calling him all these things. He's complacent. He's not breaking through the glass ceiling. He's dipped down since SummerSlam. He's not the same guy since winning the WWE title or being the #1 draft pick. Maybe he needs to be built back up, and maybe the start of that is having the Miz take the title off of him.
Fair enough. I like that.
Okay, so we have Braun Strowman dragging Kalisto backstage, throwing him in the garbage.
Now, that's figurative language right there.
Then Big Show comes out of nowhere and attacks Braun, and basically says, "Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?" And then it cuts to commercial. We have Jack Gallagher versus TJ Perkins. Did not care whatsoever. They are trying. 5
stars, mate. 5 stars.
Oh, was it? I saw the umbrella spot, so obviously it was 5.
God. Okay. Okay. This is where the first time, so I'm going to get angry on the show, which is impressive. We're about an hour and 20 minutes into the actual Raw show. A guy jumping off a top rope with an umbrella does not make wrestling cool. Doesn't.
At least it's like his character. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's kind of goofy, but
it is, bro. Like I had my
grandma. It's like lame.
My grandma came in at the right time, just on cue, saw this and goes, oh, "God, man, why do you spend your time on this shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this segment I have no clue." I was on my phone a lot, but I'm like,
oh yeah, I skipped all the way through this. Cruiserweights, purple ropes. Skip that. TJ Perkins wins with the detonation kick. It seems like they're trying to turn, TJ's already kind of a heel, but they're trying to make him team up with Neville, and now he's this new guy, and they're trying to build him back up as a heel. We'll see what happens with that. I don't watch 205 Live. If anyone does, let me know how that's going so far. But
I got a comment here. If you're going to turn TJ Perkins heel, change his fucking entrance. Okay, because he still has the gamer entrance, which doesn't work as a heel. I hated that. Hey, we got a little Ash Ketchum on the show. Actually, I need to get Ash Ketchum on the show. I will book him soon.
All right. So TJ Perkins wins that match. We have Apollo Crews and Akira Tozawa backstage, and Tozawa is telling him how he's happy he's on Raw, and I'm like,
who the fuck are you?
How did these? At first, who the fuck are you? I forgot his name. I had to like look it up, and then second, I was like, how do you know each other though? And then
yeah, it has no reason.
Like what?
Akira, boom.
What history do these guys have? Anyways, so we have Titus O'Neil come into the fold, and I actually like this. So basically, what happens is Titus says that Apollo is supposed to be a father, and Crews says he's going to be, basically he's going to be a father. He's happy about it. And Titus asks him what he's going to do in the future of WWE, and he says he's going to continue to knock down doors like he's already doing. Titus says that he'll hook him up. You need some help. You're going to be a father. You need to make that dough. You need some help. I'm going to hook you up with the Titus brand. He says, think about it. Outside of WWE, I could hook you up with everything. Apollo Crews. People will be on Apollo Crews. Then they'll be on, they'll be listening to Apollo Blues. And then if somebody gets hurt on that cruise, you can Apollo Sues. I actually really liked it. It was kind of funny. And I just think this is a really good role for Titus. I think you could see Titus, hopefully, if they continue this in the right direction, you could see Titus become a manager. And I think that would be, he's already failed as a wrestler. He's a really good guy. I don't know if they've forgiven him for what he did, that lame thing that happened with him and Vince. Hopefully they have. And moving him as a manager, specifically for Apollo Crews, who can't talk, would be an excellent move in my opinion. And I'd really dig it because I think Titus is good on the mic. I enjoy him. He's funny. He has a personality. And I think this Titus brand thing can be absolutely hilarious given the right writing. Dylan.
I don't have what I need because I don't know where I put it. But did you say you'll dig it?
Dig it.
You'll dig it? Oh, yeah. It won't be as great as the Macho Man. But I like the segment. As stupid as it was kind of funny. And, man, I feel bad for Titus because he looks big. You know, he's a big man. So I feel bad that he would be a manager, but he's funny, he's talented, he knows how to cut a promo. So a guy that Apollo Crews who can just smile, I think that would be a good move for him. So again, I don't know where they stand with him after the fucking push incident, but I would like him to do something with Titus. That's all I'll say there.
Completely agree. We have some comments in here. Donnell says Strowman has become must-see TV.
Yes.
Interesting. When's the last time a wrestler became must-see TV? That's a question from me to you.
To me. Oh shit. I mean, Brock.
I guess
probably. If we're not going to top guy like a big
like a current star.
Current star. Shit. Miz. I mean, he says it in his beginning. It's a must-see TV.
Okay. Gotcha. You got me there. Arian says his uncle was shocked of how bad they looked.
The cruiserweights.
He did like Neville. Ash says you'd put Miz in the same category as Jake Roberts, Paul Orndorff, Macho Man, and Eddie Guerrero.
Hold on.
He's talking to Arian.
That's such weird for people to compare.
Arian said that Miz was one of the best mid-carders of all time. I think when it's said and done, he's definitely like one of the best of this generation. So you'd have to group him somewhere in there. Like Macho Man was a mid-carder until he became a main eventer. You know what I mean? Eddie Guerrero was a mid-carder until he became a main eventer. Paul Orndorff was a main eventer. He main event WrestleMania.
Well, he made it at the first one. So the only person in the mid-card category of those four is Jake.
Yeah, they were all in the mid-card, but they weren't career mid-carders. Like, The Miz had a mid-card, like, had a main event feud or two, but he's been in the mid-card his entire career.
I think the Jake one is probably the best comparison because, you know, he might have gotten got out there. I mean, he's done a lot of good shit. I mean, he, like, of this current generation, how many guys could you go, man, I really need to see this guy cut a promo. He's goddamn, he's so good on the mic.
Yeah.
There's not that many. And after CM Punk left, I mean, there's like 3, maybe 4 guys.
Well, there's Miz, Bray. Who else?
Paul. But, I mean, he's been in the business for 40 fucking years, so.
Oh, Heyman? He's never on the show, though.
Yeah, he's only there every once in a while.
I mean, Enzo does the same thing every week, so it's not like you could say that he's must-see.
I wish he was doing some different.
And he gets buried when he goes in the ring. So
apparently Vince loves when he gets ragdolled, which is that's such great news to hear.
I could totally see it. I could totally see that.
I love this guy. He can just be thrown around. God,
he's hilarious in his promos, and then he just gets beat up. Wait.
He's a big nerd, isn't he? Oh, I can imagine Vince. Yeah, he's gonna put that in the promo next week. That was great. We saw Vince live twice. I mean, Vince doesn't come out very many times, but he was there at Mania 2 Raw after and this year. So,
all right, we have some more comments. He compared TJ Perkins to my 8-year-old cousin. He also says he compared Gallagher to that guy on bench warmers that is scared of the sun. Donnell Clemens says Titus is great. He's a former tag champion, and that's it. Arian says just sink in that Titus O'Neil, who looks like a beast, is booked like a joke, and don't want to say that. Balor does a squash match. Donnell says Brock is must-see TV. Arian says 8-year-old cousin. WWE Boy says, what up, Mitch? What up, Dylan and Caps? What up, WWE Boy?
Somebody
Nice to have you, man. Patrick says Y2J, probably referring to the mid-Carter comment. He was also a main eventer, though.
I mean, that's a stretch in both categories, but I put him as a main eventer or a mid-Carter.
He was a main eventer from what? 2001 to 2003?
Two.
Yeah, he was I guess you could say, yeah, he was probably a mid-Carter his entire career. I mean, he did hold a lot of WWE heavyweight titles, but he was never like one of the top guys.
Yeah,
you know,
he was a world heavyweight champion in 08 too. So like,
yeah,
maybe, kinda, sorta, but not really. Like, that's borderline.
Aaron says he beat Brock and Austin in the same night.
Really, that's the first time I've heard that, man. I forgot almost.
And that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold.
All right, we have a Hardy Boys interview, and basically what I say is, hey, finally, the Hardys will speak.
I was so happy about this. But it wasn't with Charlie Caruso. I'm a little cheesed about that.
Yeah, that sucks. I got to tell this story, okay. So, the man Vince Russo, right?
Oh, legend.
I told you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
On his podcast, everybody knows I listen to his podcast. On his podcast, he talked about Charlie Caruso for 10 minutes on how if he was producing the show, he would have zoomed in on her nice titties. For 10 minutes, he talked about how nice Charlie Caruso's upper body looked in the shot last week. He spent 10 minutes on that. It was hilarious.
Vince, I know you watched the show. Appreciate it very much.
But that's exactly right. But we say that, though.
I know.
They miss these small things. Ratings. Charlie Caruso.
Ratings.
Hardys. All right. So the Hardys talk about basically the current product. They talk about the wrestlers currently. They talk about, moment at Mania that they had and they came back and all that stuff. And very basic. They talked to like the normal Hardy Boys. They did kind of add a couple words in there, like wonderful, I think they said. Cesaro and Sheamus, welcome back to Hardy Boys. Very face-like, both teams very face-like. Sheamus talks about Mania 17 and how he watched the TLC and how he respects them for creating the TLC match. Cesaro says, it'll be a dream match. Him versus Jeff came off really awkward. Sheamus then says it will be an honor to beat the legendary Hardy Boys. And then the Hardys say a very scripted line that is like, ladders are wonderful, but we don't need ladders to defeat you guys. This was probably the worst interview of the entire night. There were some good interviews tonight, but this one just felt really scripted and like they didn't know what to do.
It was awkward. Like I was just watching this and I'm like, all right, good. We're going to get to hear the Hardy Boys because I heard from them in a couple weeks. And then this segment happened. I'm like, so did you guys talk about the promo beforehand or were you just like 30 seconds before? All right, promo, boom, talk. Like, what the fuck was this? Cesaro looked very uncomfortable, and so did Jeff Hardy, which is weird because they were both going to wrestle later on. So I'm imagining they did not talk about this. But not the best promo from either guy, I will say. Probably the worst of the night. But you know what I will say? I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Charlie Caruso was not there to help them. So, that's a mainstay.
By the way, Charlie Caruso.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Daniel.
All right, let's get into the next one. Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James versus Nia Jax.
Holy shit. Did you watch the match?
For Arian, Alexa Bliss.
Damn, Daniel.
For Arian. Did you watch any of this match or you skipped it? I'm pretty sure you did, right?
I skipped it. What I saw was Nia Jax dominated, right?
Yeah.
We had the classic locker room shot with Bayley.
Uh-huh.
We have Alexa Bliss come in and sneak in and win.
It was so much worse than you expected.
Okay, explain.
This match was slow. It dragged on. This was a long-ass match. Like, this was at least 15 minutes. And I'm okay with that if it's not on a Raw show and it's not the main event. A bunch of botches. There's a point where, like, like when you do something and it's like a domino effect and it just keeps spiraling out of control. It just kept happening over and over and over again for the next 3 minutes in this match. It's terrible. And then Alexa Bliss won, which it did help. That helped out a lot, but it was a terrible match. I don't recommend watching that. If anybody else saw that, comment below, because it was god-awful.
No other comments? It was just terrible?
It was terrible, but I will say I'm very happy Alexa Bliss is #1 contender. And I really do hope she takes the championship off Bayley.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I was intrigued. It's Echo now. Echo.
Why do every video we're on is just Echo? I don't get it.
All right. But like I was intrigued to see what would happen with Alexa Bliss, just to see when she would come to Raw and if she would do anything or if she would be buried. But immediately they're putting her into a feud with Bayley. She's a great heel, so they obviously needed to heel to face Bayley at this point. They're not ready to do the Sasha thing yet, so it's going to be intriguing to see what they do with Sasha. Maybe they'll do Mickie James, or because they've already done Nia, but maybe they'll mix the three of them in there, or maybe they'll just continue to have all of them mixed up in the main event. We'll see what happens. But I think they still tried to put Nia over, dominating the match, but they still had Alexa Bliss win. So it's intriguing. And I do want to put this in there. I like that it was a fatal four-way, because there would be no way in hell that I would believe that Alexa Bliss would beat Nia Jackson in a real fight.
Yeah, 5 feet of fury versus a good 6 foot, 240 pounds.
So I know the match sucked, but it was a good thing that it was a fatal four-way.
It was good booking. Just the execution, the excellence of execution was not there tonight. So
I would prefer no Natalya.
Well, I was making a joke to Hart, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
no one wants to see Natalya. No.
Big Show interview, very simple. He says Braun needs to find out what it's like to be intimidated, Giant style. Then we have Kurt Hawkins promo. He says, if you want to be a main event superstar, which I thought was funny, you say you step into the ring with Kurt Hawkins, because Hawkins has the star factory. He then says, somebody going to come out and come challenge the star factory. So I hope that they continue this, like every week. The guy that faces Kurt Hawkins, the next week he's in the main event.
That would be cool.
It would just be good comedy. You know what I mean?
That would be dope.
So they have Finn Balor come out, which I didn't know was going to be on Raw. They have him come out and he beats Kurt Hawkins, squashes Kurt Hawkins, whatever. Is what it is. They didn't want to have Finn Balor be in a very, physical match because of his concussion. I understand it. I know Arian is a hater of the Finn Balor. He has said that many times. I think he even called him something to do with cum, but I don't know what.
I thought you were going to use the other word to explain it. Okay. He's not bad. I would like him to be in more efficient.
The only thing I don't like about him, again, is I think they described him as as cool as James Dean and as, what was it? The other one?
I don't remember it.
His entrance. Michael Cole is like, he's as cool as James Dean. I'm like, for real?
And when you're trying to build up a star, right? You're trying to get me to believe that, remember, this was the first Universal Champion they had. Yeah. And now
Who is Finn Balor?
Finn Balor, this same thing.
Who is this guy in black underwear and a James Dean jacket? Who is this guy? All right?
Again.
Tell me. And Dylan, don't you just think that he does? I don't know where you stand on this, because you know that I stand in the market where if he was the demon, I'd dig the character 100%, and I even told it to his face. But literally, I actually did that. I met Finn Balor. I said,
I can attest.
Demon. Where is the demon? And he just laughed at me, which was fine. Whatever. He's just doing his job. But come on.
No, I mean we agree. I like it. I mean, it's like. It's the easiest comparison.
It's the equivalent of it's the equivalent, I guess, of Kane being corporate and mass Kane.
Well, I was gonna give the
but Kane is 7 foot tall, so
I was gonna give the comparison of Taker. Like, all right, Undertaker, the dead man. And then he comes up like that's like what he does on the side, and then he comes out as Mark Calloway. Like, do you want to see Mark Calloway or you want to see a fucking Undertaker? That's how it works. I'm not going to compare them in size because you can't, but the characters there. You would like to see a guy who won the Universal Championship. They want to push, do some more exciting things. And we saw it last week. He got a promo with Bray, and I know Bray's focused on his match with Orton, but would have been nice to see some kind of connection there after what they did last week.
And honestly, if you're a grown man doing this, I don't know. Maybe
You're not a big fan of the.
No, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that, but
it's also a fake wrestling TV show. So I mean,
a grown man doing this.
The fucking lights come on.
It's cool. I like when he came out at not WrestleMania, Raw. I was just looking around at people doing that.
Many people. I mean,
I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, Finn.
To me, it's fine. You celebrate. If you do it outside, like if we're not talking about wrestling, all right, then you're a mark. But like
if you're reviewing the show and you're doing,
like if somebody turns on the fucking lights to your room, hey, you're a fucking mark. But if you're doing it at a wrestling show, I'm not really gonna complain. Do it.
Hey, well, this is coming from the guy that tried to ship his own freaking WrestleMania chair.
That's a whole different story, man. All right, don't even get into it.
All right. We have a Chris Jericho interview. Do you want to explain what happened?
I like this. It is kind of weird though because he just got choked out like I don't know 2 hours ago.
Yeah, it was really weird to see a guy that just lost a match do an interview like an hour after.
I did not like that, but Jericho was like, you know what? I was not focused on the match because I had to focus on Kevin Owens. Which, if you're a wrestler, you shouldn't be saying that. You should be focused on what you're like is in front of you, and you got a guy who wants to kill you right in the ring. He's a mercenary. That's what he's called himself. So, he does a couple of his great catchphrases. The best one being what was it? It was the frame one. It's
yeah, he did. I have it written here. The face of Jericho. Frame it in, man.
That's great.
And I love the line where he called Owens ugly because it's 100% true.
Oh God, WWE boys talking about the chairs. Now you're getting people to talk about the chairs. It's not.
What do you go to the chair, Mitch? My G. What the fuck was you trying to ship your WrestleMania chair? Wasn't me, bro. It was Dylan. Dylan, this grown ass mark.
It's not a mark.
Okay. Explain the story and then we'll see if you're a mark or not.
I explained this last week.
If you buy a chair that isn't your chair,
no, I want
$100, you're a mark.
I want to have a memento, okay? Can I not be a wrestling fan? Like shit. Why the fuck, bro?
It's okay to be a mark. You just gotta admit it.
No. Look, there's the difference, right? I like to be a fan of wrestling. Okay, as you can see, I'm a fan of sports and I'm a fan of wrestling. It's not like I'm gonna go out here.
I'm a mark for the Patriots.
You're a mark for the Patriots. It depends on what you classify as a mark. What do you classify a mark as?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
It depends on
the
day.
It's so vague that you can't really answer the question. Am I a fan of wrestling? Yes. I went to the show. I feel a little bit more.
That is like a really he takes it like super seriously.
Then I'm not a mark. I'm a big fan of wrestling. That's what I'll say. I collect stuff. I've collected before and I get stuff before, but just because I get a chair from a fucking show I went to, I don't classify myself. Now, if you're going to get every single DVD that they've ever made or something that
Which you have done?
No. I've collected DVDs I wanted. I didn't get everyone. Then I would say that's classified as a mark. But I just wanted the chair. So, all right, enough with the story.
You didn't even Come on, you're not even scratching the surface on this.
No, I don't need to scratch.
You're not even. WWE boy asked you a question and you don't even answer the question.
I answered the question. What do you mean? Why the fuck was you trying to ship your shit? Because I was in Florida and I have to get it to Texas. So the only way you ship it is to ship it. I don't know, that sounds stupid. The only way to ship it is to put it as a bag there. It's a long story. I don't really want to explain it here, but the chair is here. Okay. Chill.
Why the fuck you lying?
I'm not
Why you always lying?
I spent way too much on this fucking chair. I'm done explaining it. So back to this Jericho promo, which we were trying to frame it in, man. The Drifter came in the middle of the segment. Fantastic. He keeps calling Mike Tom. He's like, he still thinks it's Tom. But he's like, you know what? You're not on the list. It's Elias Sampson. Elias Sampson Jericho feud. Now that'd be 5 stars, I tell you what. But this was a good segment. I enjoyed this. Mitch, where you at?
Why the fuck you lying?
Oh my
Oh my god.
All right, bro. I'll give you a pass. Well, maybe we'll talk about it in the future. But I did really like the Drifter spot, and Jericho played it off really well. He called him the Daffy Drifter Dandy. And then he said Tom, Mike, Tom, Mike, Tom, Mike. Guy didn't know his name, and he said thanks, Tom, at the end. So that was great. Next up, let me find this man's entrance real quick.
Ooh.
We have the great, one and only Bray Wyatt.
Whoa!
Okay. Oh, what? There we go.
It's a banger.
We have Bray Wyatt, and he's cutting a promo. He says, I have a question. What are you afraid of? And I didn't catch every single line. This was a long Bray Wyatt promo.
This was awesome.
It was really freaking good. Let's see what he says. I didn't get every line, but I tried to get as much as I possibly could. I have a question. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of the dark? Are you afraid of the fear of the unknown? The monster under your bed? Fear is what brings you all together, your common bond. But I am not like you. I control fear. I control it. I harness it. Fear lives within my house of horrors. All your fears will come to light. I will drag you down to hell so far your skin fries and your heart bursts. I will drop you back down to the abyss. You will know pain. You will know fear. You will know horror. It will be my ecstasy. Your pain will fuel me. Your screams will play like symphonies in my ear. I will burn it to the ground in the fire where it all began. It all burns down here, Randy. That was incredible. The performance by Bray Wyatt, the writing, the take from the end, which is the supposed end of the feud at the House of Horrors. The beginning is the fire, which Bray puts in his promo. This thing of the unknown, fear. This is Bray Wyatt. This is the subject of the feud. And Bray Wyatt's performance was incredible. His laughs on point. Every line was perfect. The visuals playing while he was talking were great. Very creative stuff. Really enjoyed it. Bray Wyatt deserves a freaking Emmy, bro.
This is how I describe the promo by Bray Wyatt. Kendrick Lamar, fire. It was great, bro. It was great. I tweeted this out and I feel so bad. I'm like, you got to feel bad for Bray Wyatt. He's one of the most hardworking guys, and he's going to lose in his own gimmick match. How depressing is that?
It is though, like, the more I think about it, it's kind of like Taker losing a casket or a buried alive match.
Exactly. Like, this man...
He does lose those, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't lose the first one.
I guess.
It's like...
But Kane lost the Inferno match.
That is true.
Okay, every time Kane said he would light himself on fire, he pretty much did it like every time.
Yeah. I mean, he wanted to be on fire, for God's sake. So.
Yeah, that's true.
But I really have a problem with this. I mean, like, I don't have the problem with the promo. The promo was fire, like I said. But it's just so sad to see this guy. Like, he puts so much work, puts so much effort in that character. Like, and then he loses every big match. He's won one big match, and he lost the title the next month. And he ain't getting it back because he's on Raw now. So I'm a little sad about that. But it was a fucking great promo. The guy just puts in so much effort and just goes out there and just puts over the fact that he is the face of fear, and with all these cryptic videos and montages. I mean, we give WWE a lot of crap, not tonight, but most nights we do. But they're one thing that they got really good. They got really good editors. We need somebody there. Come over here, work for WWE or work for the Bottom Line View. But they're really good at editing. They know how to get us invested. And of course, Bray Wyatt doesn't need that much help with it, but the editing going along with what's going to happen in the House of Horror, going to hear you scream, all that stuff, great. Just fantastic.
Chauncey says we need the Hardcore Championship back. I think Bray would be a hell of a champion as the Hardcore Champion.
If it's not, just don't bring back the 24/7 rule. Just don't bring back the 24/7.
We have Alicia Fox, Emma, and Dana Brooke backstage.
Holy shit.
They make a 205 live joke that I didn't understand. And then Emma is just her character is that she's going to start shit. A lot of it.
This acting was even worse than what I thought Sasha and Bayley could do. I did not think that was possible. So apparently there's some joke with 205 Live, Noam Dar, Alicia Fox.
Oh, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Oh, I wanted them to say no. I was really sad about that. But that's a perfect emphasis because this was fucking terrible. The acting by Dana Brooke, I've said it before, Dana Brooke doesn't work as a face. She's terrible. And Emma was really bad again this week, like she was last week. So
Emma sucks.
It's awful, bro.
Emma's good looking, but she's fucking terrible.
IWC hate coming. It was fucking awful. Every party involved, from the camera to the.
I don't know how people can like Emma and not like Eva Marie. Seriously.
I know. I agree. It's fucking awful. That was worse than Sasha and Bayley. I didn't even know that was possible. So, congratulations.
All right, we have Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro, first time ever in a WWE ring. My comments on this: I wanted to see the match before it happened. Then I saw a bit of it, and I kind of got bored, so I skipped most of it until the end, and then Jeff won. So that's that.
It was a good match. Long, but it was a good match. Jeff Hardy's first singles match in 8 years. By the way, I love his WWE World Title run from 08 and 09. Just
Sable wasn't the best actor, but she was like the third most over person on the show.
I think that's the joke.
Yeah, I know, but Sable wasn't a wrestler either for a long time. When Sable was most over, she wasn't a wrestler. Emma is a wrestler. Don't know why.
And she's not even the most attractive person on the show, Charlie Caruso. So the match, I enjoyed it.
According to Vince Russo.
Yeah, Vince Russo. How you doing, buddy? I enjoyed this. It was good. I still really, maybe I'll do a little bit of an.
I wonder who Jim Cornette thinks is the most attractive person.
Fuck. Nia Jax, brother. I'm sorry, no offense to her, but she's not even close to the most attractive people. Go watch her smash a pass.
I don't get this question that Arian asked. Can you explain to me how Murphy is banging Alexa? Because Murphy is, I don't know. He's a wrestler. He knows her. Obviously, has a rapport with her. Obviously, she thinks he's attractive. He's tall. He's built. Don't know what else to say.
I don't know, but
I don't know, bro. I'm not a chick.
I don't know the answer. I don't know the inside. We talk about wrestling. We don't know the inside of it. I would like to do something with Jeff Hardy video maybe in the future because Jeff Hardy's great. It's one of my all-time favorites. So, but good match. I'm looking forward to their match, their tag team match at Payback. So that's all I gotta say.
Donnell says Alicia Fox is perfect. I say agree.
Agree.
Strowman versus Big Show was the main event. We have two larger-than-life dudes basically trying to kill each other. What it results in is a collapsed ring, similar to what happened with Big Show and Lesnar. And what they try and do at the end of the show is basically sell the fact that Strowman got up, and that's impossible because you could stand up after a suplex. Okay.
No, a suplex that broke the ring, bro.
Yeah, but I get it to a certain degree, but like, how much more does that hurt? Does it hurt anymore?
Well, I mean, we don't know the effects of a fucking ring. I mean,
it looks really cool. Don't get me wrong. I like the spot, but like, it's impossible for someone to sit up after.
Well, I mean, okay, look, it's only opened 2 other times, right? Big Show and Brock Lesnar was one of them, so Brock fucking Lesnar couldn't stand up. Okay, I know that's a super small thing there, but like, I don't know. Maybe it hurts.
I think it was cool though. Like Arian said here, no one was buried. Strowman looked great, and so did Big Show.
This was a great match, man. These guys,
it was good.
Like, they've only had 2 matches, but they're both banger matches because like these are 2 big guys. Like Show, I think went down to 380, but still, like, these guys are huge, and they're doing fucking arm drags. And Strowman, swear to God, did a drop kick in the middle of this match. That was great. And a fucking suplex. Like, this was awesome. By the way, the ref got killed in the like when the ring it broke down. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, you like fell out of the ring.
It was so fucking funny. I was like, I don't know if he was expecting it to break like that, but maybe I'll pull it.
I wonder, like, if anyone was at the show. Like, I wonder how they like set it up like before, because I know they always adjust the ring. But I wonder if they like kind of loosen like a bit of the ring up, and then, because obviously that's not going to happen if they don't do that. So I wonder if people kind of knew it was coming or not.
I was just watching my man's fall to the ground like he died. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the crowd knows or not, because like that ring wouldn't be that way for 3 hours. Like, it would happen.
No, they do it right before the match.
I'd imagine it would be right before, so maybe it kills the spot for the crowd, but they still pop for it. So I mean, I don't know, but great match. This could have been a match of Mania. To be honest with you, because both of them
it should have been a match of Mania.
They got wasted at the fucking pre-show on there, so that would have been great. But still, I'm gonna give it credit. Make Show look good if he's gonna do something, because he's in the best shape of his freaking life. He should be doing something. Strowman looked awesome. Stood up after the big suplex spot, and he looks like the beast. Which I put on Twitter immediately. Can he have the Universal Championship now, please? Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Arian says, isn't it odd that the 2 wrestlers who have the hottest chicks are buried, Murphy and Rusev?
Well, Rusev is injured, and he's been buried.
He also says, what a main event. Donnell said, the ref sure did take a bump. Arian also says, I think I hate Murphy more than I hate Sami Zayn or cum dumpster Finn Balor.
Jesus Christ.
Why do you hate Finn Balor so much? Can you
I don't get it.
Anyways.
He's a human being.
He's a wrestler on a TV show, Arian. Ease up. Ease up. All right. Anyways, this is WWE Raw review for April the 17th, 2017. Let's give our ratings, let's give our plugs, and then let's get out of here, Dylan. So, you ready to go? Let's check this new drum roll out. I've never played it before. Are you ready to go?
Drum roll.
That was shitty. Let's see this one.
Very shitty. Oh, that was longer than I was expecting. I'm giving this show this is going to be a very high rating for the show. A 6 out of 10. All right. Not the best show in the world. There could be some things to improve upon, but a pretty interesting episode of Raw, I would say. There were some good segments. Of course, you had The Miz go out there, do his thing with Dean Ambrose, which I like. Both of them had a good segment. Braun Braun was absolutely fantastic. The match with Big Show was great. The spot at the end was great. Bray Wyatt cutting a fantastic promo. Alexa Bliss winning the #1 contendership. A lot of other good segments to invest you in the show. They had a storyline involved the whole night with Braun. That's good. I know a lot of people will say it's great because there's no Roman Reigns, but that's not what I'm going to add to the score. It was entertaining for the most part. Some bad segments, of course. Who the fuck cares about the cruiserweights and some of these other segments? But I paid attention more to this show than I have in the last couple. So that's a good thing for sure. 6 out of 10, I think, is pretty fair.
For me, screw the drum roll. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think I'm going to give it an extra 0.5 because I watched it in like an hour and 15 minutes. So that helps me, definitely. I thought the show was the best one they've had in quite a long time. I liked, a lot of the show. I like what they did with Strowman. I like the threads they did. I love the Miz segment. The women, I thought I could care less. It was nice to see Alexa Bliss win, but wasn't a big fan of it. The tag team still needs a ton of work. Big Show Strowman was really fun to see. What else did we have? Jericho, that was okay. I mean, it was an okay show, but I thought it was just a little bit better than it was. And I just thought like the order of the show, the pace of the show, the writing of the show, the effort of the show, just overall made it a better, more complete show to me and more interesting to watch. So that's why I give the show a 6.5 out of 10. Let's plug it up. First off, I do need to say this. If you guys have not already checked out our new edition on gawkbox.com, it is in the description. I will actually post it in the chat so you guys can check it out. Gawkbox.com/TheBottomLineView. It's in the description. Check that out. If you guys go on there with your phone, you can go on there and, play games, and you could give a tiny bit of money to this channel to help and support us. You don't have to give any of your money. You actually play the games on there, whatever game you want to play, and you can pitch in a little bit to help us continue to do these reviews and continue to put out videos and make this, our dream to continue to put out content on the regular basis on the Bottom Line View for you guys. That's what we like to do. And if you guys support us on gawkbox.com, that will really, really help us. As for content that's coming up on the channel, definitely check out the Attitude Era Monday Night Raw review if you have not already. It's, came out Sunday, yesterday, the first one in like a year, and it will be constantly out every single Sunday, an Attitude Era review. We're currently in 1998. The episode that I just reviewed was the episode where DX invades WCW. If you've not already watched that review, make sure you go do that. Thank you guys to those of you that have already done it, and it seems like it's gotten some pretty good feedback in terms of comments and likes, so that's great. Thank you guys. Also, a lot of NHL playoff recaps. We're going to do one right after this video pretty much with myself, Trent, Adam. Kev won't be on tonight, but he'll be back soon. And Dylan, I know you have some news for the channel in terms of new show that you're trying to build, and also actually a couple new shows, and also SmackDown. What's happening with SmackDown?
Yes, I've got 3 announcements here, a lot of announcements. First off, SmackDown. It's an interesting episode tomorrow because hockey is going to be playing the same time SmackDown is in Canada, so SmackDown's being moved to Wednesday. So Mitch can't be on the review. Well, you know who's going to step up and do the review? Your boy Dilly Vanilli. Solo review tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. The first solo SmackDown review I've done, but I'm excited to talk about it. I do a little bit of a different style on my own, so check that out. Tomorrow, SmackDown review will be with me. Thursday, we are going to record the first episode of the Hangout Out of Nowhere podcast. We've been talking about it forever. We need to start getting work on it. First 2 guests are going to be Mitch and Adam. So I want you guys to stay tuned for that. That's going to be a banger. If you guys don't already know what that series is about, it's like a debate thing. If you ever watched Pardon the Interruption or Around the Horn, it's basically we go through some of the bigger topics of the day. These guys debate off. I'm the host of the show, and we talk about some of the bigger subjects in NFL, NHL, NBA, whatever. Talk about whether you like it, you don't. It's like a game kind of thing. We want to get people involved, so it's going to be like that. So we're recording that Thursday. Stay tuned for when that comes out, hopefully soon. The trailer, of course, for the new series 20x20, Why Wrestling Isn't Cool Anymore, comes out this Friday. I'm in the process of editing right now, and it will, in that video, detail when the first episode will arrive to YouTube. So I'm very interested to make that series, and I'm excited. And also, NBA, we're going to do a recap after every round. So after round 1, when all the series end up, we'll do a little recap of it and a preview of round 2, semifinals, Western Conference, Eastern Conference finals. And I think we'll do a couple of NBA final game recaps, because those are the big games right there. Those are the money makers. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited to give these shows out to you guys.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to the WWE Raw review for April the 17th, 2017. It's Mitch. It's Dilly Vanilli. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure you check out gawkbox.com. Thanks, guys, for watching. Peace out. Peace. Oh.